Hello everyone. Happy Manic Monday, for I hope your day was less manic and more fun. For my day was not too bad. But being Monday also means spooky places. And this week we shall cover a few places in Pennsylvania. Our first stop will be Allentown, the King George Inn. Believed to be haunted by a ghost named Charlie, who likes to bother people working in the kitchen. He drops utensils and moves things around. Several ghosts reportedly haunt this place. A woman and young child can be seen in the basement, along with a man wearing Revolutionary War type clothing. By an employee's account, a ghost hunter asked to spend the night alone there once. In the morning, the owner returned to find the ghost hunter's equipment, but the ghost hunter was never seen afterwards. Interesting. Spooky. And we move on to Altoona, Wampanoag Mountains, Beulah Road. This legend is a cross between the spectral hitchhiker stories that you may have heard of and sort of the Resurrection Mary type tales familiar with the Chicago area. The ghost of the White Lady still walks at night. For historical background, there used to be a hotel at the top of Wampanoag Mountain that was a fairly common getaway for people in Altoona. The Wampanoag Hotel was an famous lookout, burned in the early part of the 20th century and was never rebuilt. In fact, at one time it was serviced by a narrow gauge railroad known as the Alley Popper. Although that was nothing to do with this tale, the road heading up Altoona. Well, the road heading up to the Wapsie Lookout, as it is known here thereabouts, is now Janata Gap Road in Altoona. This road is a treacherous one bearing a curve known as the Devil's Elbow, which has been the scene of many accidents. Apparently, in the early part of the century, a couple was married and was heading to the hotel at the lookout for their honeymoon. They knew nothing of the father chasing them, which is related to the Ebsenberg tale. The legend goes that they were both from Altoona and were heading to the road leading to the hotel when the carriage went over the edge, rounding the Devil's Elbow. Both were apparently killed, but the body of the husband was never recovered. Since then, travelers on the road have encountered the spectral of a woman in white, sometimes seen carrying a candle, who apparently is looking for something. Variations of the tale have her waylaying young men and looking them over to see if they are her husband, or hitching rides with young men headed for the top of the mountain and then disappearing near the Devil's Elbow. Apparently the spirit has also been from the other direction, Buckhorn Mountain, and she is also known as the White Lady of Buckhorn Mountain, as well as the White Lady of Wampanoag. The site of the old hotel is now littered with television and radio towers and is still a sort of lover's lane spot for a lot of folks. Apparently some of the technicians at the towers have reported seeing her, but the most recent account in the late 1990s involved a man who offered a ride. She apparently got into the car and he could not see her in the rear view mirror, but could see her when he turned around. She said nothing to him and disappeared at the Devil's Elbow. Much like Resurrection Mary, it is a difficult tale to dispute since it has occurred so often to so many people over such a long stretch of time. Although the historical details are sketchy, no one knows who she was or when the accident actually took place. ever get a chance to get up that area for a trip on either road, you may have a chance to run into her and ask her. And the last place for this week shall be Barton Brook, Benson home. There are several hauntings at this location. They are circulated around an old home from the 1800s in the mountains of northern Pennsylvania. One ghost is of someone who has ethnic features, somewhat of a servant looking, perhaps a black servant. Not sure. This is a torso head apparition. The living residents of the house heard a party going on downstairs. Wishing to investigate, they head downstairs. This house had a sealed up staircase. It had its own room. When they got to the door, they could hear people talking and smell coffee. As they opened the door, the smell and sound disappeared. It reappeared when they returned to their beds. Interesting. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the tales, my friends, and wishing you all a spooky night.